The House voted to override Governor DeWine's veto, which will loosen tobacco restrictions in Ohio. The American Heart Association is concerned about this. They say it's unsafe to the public, while Ohio House members say this will support small businesses. I'm joined by State Government Relations Director at the American Heart Association, Dustin Holfinger, to discuss what this bill would do and why he's concerned. Dustin, thanks for being on.
Yes, of course. Thanks for having me.
So first, what does this latest movement with the bill potentially mean for tobacco laws in Ohio? What would change if this moves forward?
Well, first off, this would change any city's ability to enact their own flavor ban policy. There's only 4 of those communities in the state of Ohio, and they're all centralized in Franklin County. This goes beyond that, though. This is not just a narrow ban of flavor bans. This is a full-on broad and sweeping preemption language that would also negate any tobacco retail license policies that are in place within our communities, of which we have about 25 of them. And what those policies are really is just a stopgap enforcement measure that takes on the responsibility of the state's Tobacco 21 law to enforce that policy at the local level. City councils have enacted these policies in collaboration with their health departments to conduct compliance checks on retailers within their community, again, to ensure accountability and they're not making sales to underage customers. And under this preemption language, those would be negated entirely.
And I want to hear more about the impact that would have, because you mentioned that your biggest concern is that children will have greater access to risk of exposure of tobacco products. You also question the true motivations of this bill. So can you kind of expand more on that and the impact that this would have?
Yeah, again, it would reduce the level of accountability on retailers because right now those 25 communities, again, have taken it upon themselves and said, we don't want you making sales to underage customers, and we will provide compliance checks to ensure that that does not happen. And if you violate those, there are teeth to this policy. There are a tiered structure of penalties with an increasing fine for each penalty within a certain time period, with if you receive 4 violations within that time period, your license to sell those products can be revoked. The goal of the American Heart Association was not to put people out of business. We just want a compliance for that state Tobacco 21 law. Children don't smoke anymore. Youth are not smoking traditional cigarettes. They're using vapor products, and they're targeted directly toward them with their designs, with their colors, with their flavors. The fact that they make them look identical to highlighters and watches and hoodie straps. Grown adults don't need to hide the products they're using. Children do. So that's very indicative of the market that these companies are aimed towards.
Right.
One of the concerns that we have there is the increased access of these products that children could see in their communities.
Right. And how much of a problem right now does Ohio have when it comes to tobacco use, especially among children and teens? Do you think this will get worse? Do you think we would see more young people vaping?
I think there's a very good chance. I think we all know that shop in our town that's making sales to underage customers. There are many communities that know exactly which shops, and they want to crack down on them, but all the others as well, and make sure that everybody's on the same level playing field, adhering to the same state law. The problems that we've been hearing in communities when we testify at local city councils on tobacco retail license policies, many times school resource officers are a part of that testimony as well, and many have indicated that there are more penalties or more disciplinary actions in schools revolving around vape and vapor use than any other disciplinary action that school takes care of. So it's going to be a problem. It is a problem now, and we're hoping that the Senate will heed our advice and not concur with the House and allow home rule to continue in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, and I know you're hoping that parents make their voices heard if they are concerned about this bill. But in the meantime, we'll have to see what happens. Thank you so much, State Government Relations Director at the American Heart Association, Dustin Holfinger. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.